Joining us now is Mike Davis, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. Mike, great to be with you as always. So what more do you know about this investigation in Arizona, and why is this happening now?
This is more Democrat lawfare against President Trump. It's more election interference. It's on many different fronts. There have been 4 indictments against President Trump by 4 different Democrat prosecutors trying to go after Trump for non-crimes. This is a continuation of that. It is not a crime to object to a presidential election. It's allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887. It's not a crime to twist arms politically. That's allowed by the First Amendment. It's not a crime to have contingent electors. They're not fake electors. They're not people. We didn't have real electors tied up in Rudy Giuliani's trunk and send in fake electors with fake IDs. Everyone knew what was happening here. The same thing that Democrats did in 1968, 2000, 2004, 2016, objecting to Republican wins. If that were a crime, they'd be in prison for objecting those 4 different times.
In the meantime, former President Trump was scheduled to hold a press conference today regarding his indictment by a Fulton County grand jury and what he says is new evidence of fraud in Georgia in the 2020 presidential election. But that was canceled per his attorney's advice. That said, what's the latest with this indictment, and where do you see this going?
Well, I mean, I think this is lawlessness by this Fulton County DA, Fani Willis. She's obviously a partisan Democrat operative, and she is continuing this lawfare. There's obvious collusion with Jack Smith and the Biden Justice Department. She was asked about that at her highly inappropriate press conference, and she declined. She talked about just about everything else, but she declined to talk about her communications with Jack Smith and the Biden Justice Department. This is obviously coordinated to go after Trump. They waited 30 months to bring these indictments against President Trump, and now all of a sudden they think they have to rush to hold these trials, 4 different trials in a row, maybe 5 in Arizona, 6 if you include the New York Attorney General with their civil fraud bogus lawsuit against President Trump. So they want to have a 6-front lawfare against President Trump, obvious election interference timed to time before the presidential election on November 5th, 2024. This is not going to fly with the American people. Democrat prosecutors and Democrat judges and Democrat juries and Democrat hellholes do not get to decide the next president of the United States. The American people get to decide that. You're seeing in the polling that there's rallying support around Trump. I think there's resentment by the American people that these Democrat elite are trying to decide this election for them.
And Mike, as you know, Wednesday is the first Republican presidential primary debate, and former President Trump, who is the clear frontrunner here, he'll be sitting this one out and instead doing an interview with Tucker Carlson. Mike, what do you think this all signals, and why not be a part of this debate on Wednesday?
I mean, I don't know why President Trump would want to go join this vice presidential debate. He's up by 40 points. I think you should watch the debate, apprentice style, and decide if any of these people are fit to be his vice president. There are others out there like Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds. Maybe she'd be a good vice presidential pick. There are many strong vice presidential contenders, and President Trump clearly has this nomination locked up, and he shouldn't waste his time at these debates.
Mike, speaking of the debate, I mean, what are you expecting from it, and who do you think will come out on top?
Well, I mean, I don't know. If, like I said, for vice president, I think Kim Reynolds could be the dark horse for the vice presidential pick. She's been a very strong governor in my home state of Iowa. She brings together the social conservatives with the business community and the independents. She'd be someone to look at. You know, as far as the others, who knows? We'll see how they perform at the vice presidential debate.
Mike, we have about 20 seconds left or so, but quickly, what else are you following?
There's a lot going on, and I would just say to these Democrats who thought that this lawfare campaign against Trump would work out in their favor, they need to remember what happened with Kavanaugh. There were 6 bogus allegations made against Justice Kavanaugh, and each new allegation that came in undermines the ones prior, and Kavanaugh ended up getting confirmed for the rest of his life, and 4 Senate Democrats got sent into early retirement. We could see the same thing in 2024 with Trump back in the White House.
All right, going to leave it right there. Mike, always great to get your insights. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you.